Today on What the F News. To absolutely nobody's surprise, Vince McMahon did what? A pastor in Colorado claims that God made him create and sell a worthless cryptocurrency and told him to use the funds to remodel his house. A British man attempts to pull a Forrest Gump-style run across the continent of Africa. And TikTok's newest food trend is sweeping across South Korea. And you're not going to believe what this one consists of. I have 11 brand new instances of pure what the f that'll leave you wondering if 5G really is scrambling these people's eggs. Don't go anywhere. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of What the Fuck News, your source for the top WTFs from the past week from around the globe. I'm your host, Craig. As always, if you do enjoy the video, don't forget, like and subscribe. So let's jump right into last week's nonsense, shall we? So, starting us off today, WWE's own Vince McMahon has been accused of sex trafficking. Janelle Grant, a previous employee who worked at the WWE headquarters, filed a lawsuit on Thursday claiming that she was abused and sexually exploited by Vince McMahon while he was the CEO. But people, seriously, take some time to read these reports online. This shit is bananas. I mean, there's stories of Vince trafficking her to other men within the company. There's a story of Vince McMahon, along with the head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, taking turns sexually assaulting her while the other one restrains her. Another story of Vince McMahon using her to lure an unnamed UFC fighter to the WWE. Instances of Vince McMahon being overly aggressive with sexual toys, in which he is named after WWE superstars.
Brock Lesnar is going to bury you 6 feet under.
And even a story of Vince McMahon himself defecating on her and ordering her to please another man while remaining covered in his feces. What the fuck? According to the report, Vince later pressured Janelle into signing an NDA, which also came with a $3 million paycheck. An investigation is currently underway. But let's be honest, he did it. Case closed. If there's anybody out there that disagrees with me that actually watched the WWE during the Attitude Era, please go ahead and pounce on me in the comments. I know you're going to anyway. A man on a flight from Mexico City to Guatemala City turned himself into authorities after allegedly opening the emergency exit of the plane that he was on and walking out onto the wing while the plane was waiting for takeoff. Now, upon reading the headline, my first assumption was that this man was just simply on some hood rat shit.
I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
But this was actually not the case. The plane had actually been delayed for roughly 3 hours when this incident occurred. At least 77 passengers aboard the Aeromexico flight have signed a handwritten statement saying that they were in support of the man's actions, saying that he acted to protect everyone with the support of everyone.
Our freedom!
Given the fact that the plane had actually been sitting on the runway already for 3 hours without any ventilation or water for the passengers. Airport authorities did not identify the man, and they declined to comment on whether the man remains in custody or is even facing charges. Hey, but that's definitely better than the South Korean flight in May of last year when a man opened up the emergency exit when the plane was in the sky. Yeah, definitely look that one up. That one's a doozy. A pastor in Colorado is facing legal action after selling a worthless cryptocurrency to his flock and then pocketing $1.3 million, some of which was used to remodel his home. But here's the kicker. He claims it's because God told him to do it. Bruh. The pastor and his wife are facing a civil lawsuit, alleging that they advertised the so-called index coin to fellow Christians in Colorado with strong guarantees of financial gains, even though they knew the coin was a sham. Outside of using the funds to remodel their home, the couple also used the funds to purchase a Range Rover, designer handbags, and jewelry, while once again claiming that God told them to do so. The pastor said, and I quote, "We took God at his word and sold a cryptocurrency without a clear exit. Either I misheard God or God is not done with this project." So it just finally clicked. I've been asking the wrong people the whole time about advice when it comes to crypto. God, when is XRP going to make me Jordan Belfort rich? 3 men were found dead and frozen in the backyard of a Missouri home. But the home actually belonged to their friend, where they had just all gathered to watch one of the Kansas City Chiefs football games. Their frozen bodies were discovered in the backyard 2 days after the game took place. One of the bodies was discovered sitting in a lawn chair while the other 2 bodies were discovered laying on the ground. But here's the twist. The police are actually claiming that there's no foul play. The homeowner and close friend to the victims, Jordan Willis, claims that he spent the last 2 days between when the football game took place and when the bodies were found, asleep on the couch next to a loud fan with noise-canceling headphones on, completely unaware of all the calls and messages being sent to him from friends and family of the missing men. The toxicology reports are still pending, which can confirm or deny the police's suspicions that the men overdosed on drugs, making themselves vulnerable to the overnight freezing temperatures. Oh, I know that smell anywhere. Is that foul play? A teen is facing charges after allegedly taping fish to ATMs around the town of Provo, Utah. What? Between August and October of 2023, the teen was responsible for roughly a dozen incidents in which actual fish were duct taped to ATMs, with the exception of one incident when 3 fish were duct taped to a cop car. Man, it really sounds like there's a bunch of fun shit to do in Utah. The photos were all uploaded to an Instagram account titled FishBandit84, which had a tagline of "Live, Laugh, Tape Fish on ATMs." The teen is facing 2 misdemeanor counts of causing property damage, simply due to the fact that the cleanup was starting to become costly. But I guess I just have one question. Why? A Colombian man staged an elaborate robbery to propose to his girlfriend. And fortunately for all of us, we have video. So as you can see, a red car is seen pulling up to an intersection when all of a sudden a pedestrian and a motorcycle block its path. The assailants rush the vehicle and demand that the couple get out of the car. A couple moments later, 2 more men arrive on another motorcycle, and supposedly one of the actors was actually brandishing a real handgun to help spook the woman. Now things get real when the assailants force the boyfriend to the ground before going completely silent so he could pull out the ring and propose. How does one say my boyfriend is a gang member without saying my boyfriend is a gang member? But, like most women, it seems like she has a soft spot for danger because she definitely said yes. But seriously though, I do have one question. What if she would have shit herself? I mean, I probably would have. And no matter how romantic you turn that situation into, I don't really think there's any ladies out there that want to be proposed to with a full diaper. Just saying. A 26-year-old British man is looking to become the first person to ever run the full length of Africa. When asked why, he simply answered,
I just felt like running.
Russ Cook from Worthing in West Sussex has been running the length of the continent for 283 days now, covering more than 7,600 miles and raising more than €150,000 for the running charity, which supports young people who are homeless. He began the run in South Africa at its most southern point and still roughly has 2,485 miles to go before completion. But this past week, the run was almost cut short due to visa issues entering Algeria. But luckily, the issues were resolved within the week and he's officially been given the green light to enter. Man, this guy is out here running across whole continents. And I can't even run for 20 seconds without sounding like Gilbert Grape's mom when she was trying to walk up those steps. Craig, you gotta get your shit together, dude. Damn. A California woman has broken the Guinness World Record for longest arm hair after a strand on her upper right arm measured over 7 inches. The woman, Macy Davis Sutherland, first spotted the hair back in 2012, and even back then thought she could potentially have a world record. And I gotta say, people, I learned a lot about arm hair while making this video. So in the 11 years since the initial discovery of this hair, it had actually fallen out or been pulled out accidentally multiple times. But every time it came back, it aggressively grew to become much longer than the others. Pull me out? Pfft, I'ma show you sons of bitches. But just for context, people, a normal arm hair measures roughly 1 centimeter. This specific strand came in at 18.4 centimeters. But I don't really know what the big deal is. I personally kind of like a little bit. You know what? Never mind. Bees swarm a plane at a Brazilian airport, leaving the passengers trapped in the aircraft on the tarmac for roughly an hour and a half. The flight had landed at the Greater Natal International Airport at around 12:30 p.m., with the passengers expecting to exit the aircraft via a set of external steps onto the runway. Almost immediately after landing, a loud buzzing could be heard all around the plane and a large swarm of bees started landing on the windows. The passengers were actually ordered to return to their seats as the actual fire department needed to be called in to remove the bees from the plane's wings in which they had settled. Passengers were finally able to exit the plane at around 2 p.m. But I guess I kind of have a question. Can anybody tell me if this is normal? Every article I read did explain the incident, but nowhere did they explain why there were enough bees in one area to kill an elephant. Like, I've personally never seen a swarm of bees that fucking big. So if anybody knows if this is somewhat normal in Brazil or anything of that nature, let me know. Any help would be appreciated. The country of Kuwait is looking to ban handshakes at mourning ceremonies.
Get your hands out of my face!
The Kuwaiti Ministry of Health is urging mourners gathered at cemeteries to make do with simple eye greetings. The recommendation is part of efforts to boost healthy behavior in everyday life in Kuwait. Although there have been no reports of any new or spreading illnesses, the directive is viewed as a mere way to prevent future occurrences. It was reported last month that a new variant of COVID has been detected, but no emergency measures are currently being planned in Kuwait. And finally, with our last story of the day, South Korea is warning against the social media trend of eating fried toothpicks. You heard me right, toothpicks. Video clips depicting people consuming the deep-fried starch toothpicks have racked up thousands of likes and shares on TikTok and Instagram. The toothpicks are made with a green dye that, once cooked, makes them resemble worms or worm-like creatures. The Ministry of Food and Drug Safety are taking measures to remind people that the safety of these toothpicks when consumed has not been verified. But I'll be honest, there's not really much more to that story. I just wanted to use that to segue into a quick little rant. Let them eat toothpicks. Let them eat Tide Pods. Let them eat lean bread. Let them eat sleepy chicken. If you have to tell these fucking people not to eat something that's pretty obvious they shouldn't be eating anyway because it's not even food, well then I'm sorry, but somebody at home ain't doing their job. Personally, I'm a huge supporter of Darwinism. Let the smart ones live. Let the dumb ones take themselves out. I mean, let's be honest. The world needs less Nikocado avocados anyway. So thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of What the Fuck News. As always, and like I said previously, if you did enjoy the episode, please don't forget, like and subscribe. I will be putting these out weekly, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, and as always, peace.